Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? And welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a little taste test video. This is a bit of a throwback to my older videos. If you've been with me for a few years now, you know that a while back I was doing almost exclusively tasting videos when people would send me treats from their home countries and I would taste them. And today I'm going to be doing a similar thing. I got this in the mail yesterday thanks to Wendy. Wendy, thank you so much supporting the USPS. Awesome. And she sent me a bunch of candies, and these candies are familiar candies, but they've been treated in a way that is novel and new. They have been freeze dried. So to talk about freeze drying, we're going to talk a little bit about sublimation. And sublimation is simply a change of state from liquid form to gas form. So when we are taking a shower, we have hot water, it turns into water vapor, that's sublimation. So you need some very specialized equipment to do any freeze drying. So you place the food inside of the freeze dryer, the food is quickly frozen, and a vacuum is applied, or the pressure is reduced inside of the chamber. A little bit of heat is applied to hasten the sublimation or the drying process, because ultimately that's what we're trying to do, is remove as much of the water as possible out of the food, completely drying the food. So the food ends up being very crisp and light because we removed all the water. This process is very interesting for a few reasons. Number one being, since we've removed all the water out of the food, we can preserve it or extend its shelf life, because living things like mold, bacteria need water to grow. Freeze drying is also very good at retaining the nutrition and the flavor of the food. So if you've ever had a freeze dried strawberry, that's a great example of just a pure, lovely strawberry flavor. One drawback is that they're very susceptible to moisture and they'll become kind of soggy, and that's part of the whole beauty for me eating freeze dried foods, is that great crunchy texture. So I've never had freeze-dried candies before, and this box of treats came all the way from Hawaii from Wendy. Wendy, thank you so much for sending these to me. I'm so excited to see how the freeze-drying process changed these very familiar candies. So you can find Wendy and her snacks at Any Kind Snacks on Instagram. And not only has the texture changed of these candies, the appearance has as well. So once again, sublimation is a change of state from a liquid to a gas. That process has changed some of these candies. The gas is trying to escape out of the Skittle, and it puffs it up, creating these candies that look like little tennis balls. Aren't they adorable? I've got a bag of regular Skittles so I can do a little side-by-side comparison. So the candy shell has cracked and the inside is kind of burst open. So it wasn't until relatively recently in my life that I discovered that the red Skittle is actually strawberry. My whole entire life, practically, I thought these were cherry because they're red. It just shows how strong that color association is with flavors. This is actually strawberry. I mean, orange, yellow, and green were my favorite of the Skittles. Grape next, and then strawberry a distant last. But now green is green apple. So bummed about that. Anyways, let's give them a go. I'm gonna try the original Skittle first. Here we go. Oh my gosh, I haven't had a Skittle in so long. Nice candy coated crunch on the outside. Big burst of orange flavor. Nice chewy middle. It sticks a little bit to your teeth but quickly dissipates because the Skittle is relatively small. Alrighty, let's try the freeze-dried version. Wow, they seem more intensely orange. And as you heard, big, big crunch, super, super light. There's none of the chewiness, which is slightly disappointing. I really like the chew of Skittles, but the flavor seems to be a little bit more intense. I don't know, that might be my imagination. I'm gonna have to try another one. My favorite flavor is tied between lemon and orange. Let's try lemon. Lemon, I think, is my favorite. So the inside of a Skittle is kind of similar to a Starburst, a taffy that's chewy, very similar intensity of lemon flavor, nice bit of acidity. Alrighty, let's try the freeze-dried version. Yes, they definitely seem more intense in flavor, like the flavor has been concentrated. And there's two types of crunch that's going on. You still have that big candy coated crunch, but then you've got the crunch on the inside as well. which is light and slightly foamy, but very crunchy. Delightful, absolutely delightful. Okay, I'm gonna try a grape one. Oh, I like that. Again, the flavor seems much more intense, and it just bursts and then kind of just melts away. So Wendy sent me other Skittles as well, including yogurt Skittles, which I've never had before. And then when I went to the supermarket, I found these. And these are Skittle dips, creamy yogurt flavored, original. I had no idea that these were in existence. They look kind of like macarons. Oh yes, oh my gosh, how unusual. Look at that. They have a black S on them. So interesting. Okay, so they're kind of mysterious because they have a yogurt coating. You don't really know which one you have. All right, here we go. I don't know if I approve that message. The yogurt coating is just like those yogurt dip pretzels. Kind of creamy, slightly tangy, vaguely yogurty, very sweet. And then inside you've got just your original candy inside. Let's try the freeze-dried version. So that was a purple one. I'm gonna try a purple yogurt one. Oh yeah. I prefer the freeze-dried version of that yogurt one for sure. I like the lighter texture. The inside of the Skittle has puffed up and exploded like a rice puff. And then you still have that kind of yogurty coating on the outside, but it's much thinner. It's not so thick and dense. But then you've got that really intensified fruity flavor in the middle. Yeah, definitely prefer the freeze-dried. Alrighty, next let's try the freeze-dried sour Skittles. These look just like the original. Alrighty, here we go. Let's try orange. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Those are great. So once again, the freeze drying process has intensified the fruity flavor, but now we have this huge burst of acidity, nice little bit of citric acid powder. Oh, yum, yum. Yes, yes. These ones are my favorite so far. Next, we have the freeze-dried wild berry Skittles. Let's just get one of each. Let's try purple. Oh yeah. Huge berry flavor. That's kind of like a blackberry flavor. Let's try green. What's green? It registers as green apple to me, but that's not quite green apple. Yeah. Let's try red. That tastes like cherry. And blue. Blue raspberry. Totally unabashedly artificial berry flavors. If you're into berry flavors, you'll like these. But once again, we have an intensifying or a concentrating of the flavors. So if you like berries, then you will probably love the wild berry flavored Skittles. They're not my favorite. I much prefer citrus. So that's it for the Skittles. But did you know you can also freeze dry ice cream? Of course you did. You knew that because that's Astronaut Ice Cream. That's what Astronaut Ice Cream is. It's freeze-dried ice cream, which apparently I think never went up into space at all. I do have a very old video of my first taste of Astronaut Ice Cream, and I will put that link down below in case you're interested. So here we have an ice cream sandwich. It's a Neapolitan, so we've got the chocolate, vanilla, and the strawberry. Look at that. It's still in its wrapper. Itadakimasu. Do you hear that? It's completely crunchy. It's got kind of like the texture of a Maria biscuit. It's crunchy like that, crunchy. And the flavor is dairied. It tastes like dry milk powder. That was the vanilla part. Let's try the chocolate. It tastes like hot cocoa mix. But what's really fun here is the texture. The ice cream has become this really tight kind of foam, almost like that pink construction foam. Not that I've eaten that before, but it has that same kind of density. This is a freeze-dried orange-sicle. I love it, I love it, I love it. Amazing. Look at this, a full-on orange-sicle. Isn't it amazing? It looks just like an orange-sicle. It's completely hard. Amazing. And in my opinion, so much better than a frozen orange-sicle. Actually, I'm not a fan of orange-sicles, that combination of dairy with orange. I might just have a popsicle, an orange one. I don't want any dairy in that, but that is so delightful. The orange part has formed an orange crust around the vanilla inside. It's amazing, look at that. So when you bite it, you have this really big burst of orange, and then you get this kind of very mild, kind of milk powder flavor after. And last but certainly not least are these, and these are freeze-dried Hi-Chews. Hi-Chews are candies that come from Japan. They're a taffy. They're similar to a Starburst, but they have a smoother consistency and they don't stick to your teeth, but a really great intense fruity flavor. And these are strawberry. For comparison, I have the original Hi-Chew. I could only find mango at the grocery store, but just to show you a little side-by-side comparison. And here's the original shape, the rectangular. And there's the colored filling inside. So you'll see how much they've shortened up and puffed out. Let's try a Hi-Chew. I've never had a mango one before and I don't care for it. I'm surprised because I love mango. Alrighty, let's try the freeze-dried version. This is strawberry. Here you go. Wow, much firmer than any of the other freeze-dried products. But once you crack it, it sort of starts to dissolve and crunch. Great crunch on those. But again, more intense fruity flavor. In this case, strawberry. And the strawberry flavor is very similar to a strawberry Starburst. And there's a nice little bit of acidity in there as well. Very similar actually to a Skittle. Let's see what happens when you suck on them. They're kind of similar to a buttermint. They kind of just start to dissolve and fade away, although not as soft and crumbly as a buttermint. So if you're into fruity, chewy candies, then you'll probably really like Hi-Chew. The freeze-dried version is excellent as well. It's just not chewy. It's just a different kind of candy. Alrighty, my lovelies, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! I'm amped up on sugar, I'm amped up on sugar.